Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. I'm sure that all of you are familiar with the George Zimmerman case. I know that you're familiar with Trayvon Martin. But I'm going to summarize just basic information about the case. Trayvon Martin, a 17-year-old, I think he was 17 at the time, a teenager, went to a 7-Eleven. He purchased some iced tea and some candy. And after he bought that, he went out the store and headed home like he ordinarily would do. He was unarmed. He wasn't bothering anybody. He wasn't committing any crime. He was simply walking home from the store. And this self-appointed wannabe cop, this person who masqueraded as some kind of neighborhood watch person, he followed Trayvon Martin. He assumed that he was up to no good simply because of the color of his skin. So he felt the need to stop this brother, to harass this brother, and to eventually kill this brother, shooting him through the heart and killing him. And after he killed this brother, it took forever for charges to be brought against that killer. It took forever for the police to actually arrest him and put him in jail. It took forever. And then after he was arrested, after much public pressure, after marches, after demonstrations, after protests, after he was arrested and tried, they let him go. And what we had was a modern day example of injustice. A modern day lynching took place. And during that trial, they tried to tarnish Trayvon Martin's name. They tried to label him as some kind of criminal, as some kind of thug. And as many of us said during the trial, George Zimmerman was the real thug. He was the real person with a history of violence. And after George Zimmerman got away with murder, everything we said proved to be true when he was arrested on multiple occasions for physical altercations with others, for threatening others with weapons. He is the real thug. George Zimmerman is the real thug. And he's not only the thug. This criminal justice system is the true thug that allows this kind of brutality to be committed against black people with impunity. So that's just some basic background information about this case. So after this man got away with murder, he has taunted Trayvon Martin's family over and over again. He has ripped open the wounds that that family has suffered. And recently he's done the same thing by putting his gun on sale, by putting it up for auction. The gun that he used to kill Trayvon Martin. Not only did he take this opportunity to paint himself as some helpless victim, as some victim who had no choice but to take this brother's life. Not only that, this man actually wants to profit off of the death of that brother by selling this gun. He's starting out the bids at $5,000. And that gun is simply like a trophy being sold, like a memento. Like when you go to the fair and you want something to remember an event by, so you buy something. It's a trophy. And lately I've been watching Dr. Henry Louis Gates' series called African Americans, many rivers to cross. And they talked about lynchings in that documentary. And if you haven't seen that documentary, I encourage you to watch it on Netflix. It's streaming now on Netflix. So, I encourage you all to check that out. But in that documentary, they talked about the problem of lynching, how lynching was a normal event. In fact, lynching was like a sporting event for these demented devils. They were amused by killing black people. They would gather in large crowds like they were going to a baseball game or a football game. They would advertise these lynchings. And then after they killed the black man, they would create postcards to celebrate the occasion. They would take little trophies back from the event. Like they would take a cut off ear from one of the victims of the lynching. They would cut off other body parts and keep them as souvenirs. And that's essentially what's happening here. They are trying to keep this man's gun as a damn souvenir for the killing of this brother, Trayvon Martin. This man said that the Smithsonian was interested in buying the gun. And the Smithsonian Museum, they have denied that. This man said that this was some part of American history. So it has some value. This is an absolute disgrace that something like this can happen nowadays. That not only does this man kill a black man and get away with it, this man actually is making money off of that. This man has become a damn celebrity off of this. This man has gone to gun shows and people have asked for his damn autograph like he was Jay-Z or something. Like he was Michael Jackson or something. There's no reason why this man should be walking around free. There's no reason why this man should be still breathing right now. The fact that something like this could happen in this country is just a sign of how far we have to go before we actually become this post-racial society that people talked about after the election of President Obama. This is an outrage. And from what I understand, he posted the gun on one website and then that website decided to end the auction and remove the gun from the auction, and now he's gone to another website. And they're glad to accept him. And this man has the nerve to say, well, he can sell it because he's a free American, blah, blah, blah. This is a disgrace. And I just wanted to add this one point before I go. George Zimmerman said that he would use some of the proceeds from the sale of this gun to fight Black Lives Matter violence against law enforcement. So this man is accusing Black Lives Matter of committing acts of violence against law enforcement. That is absurd. First of all, Black Lives Matter is a non-violent organization. There's no history of Black Lives Matter committing any acts of violence against the police. They're not shooting police. They're not beating police. They are standing up against violence, against the violence that is committed against black people, against the police that kill us in the streets for no justified reason. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a damn killer defend other killers. Killers who happen to wear badges, who happen to wear uniforms, who happen to have the color of law behind them. Because this man apparently was a wannabe cop. He wanted to do what these other cops do and that's harass and kill black people.